Often parents of children, I'd say maybe high school age, college age, they have that experience where one of their children is staying out a little bit late. Or they have the experience that one of their children stays out past curfew, possibly. And, the parent gets worried, wonders what's going on. Or they're waiting because there's a snowstorm, or they're coming home from college, and they're going to be arriving late in the evening, late in the night, or very early in the morning. And the parent can't sleep until they see them safe at home, safe in their bed, and ready. That is a type of vigil that a parent keeps, waiting for their child to come home. And I think even if a parent does go to bed, they don't sleep well often because they're waiting. They're waiting attentively in their hearts or in their subconscious. That is the type of vigilance that we're being called to today by the Scriptures. The first reading brings about and reminds us about the Exodus journey. The people waited with great longing and prayed that the Lord would deliver them. And he did. And so too, Jesus is calling us to vigilance. Vigilance to be ready for his coming. Jesus points out, he uses that language of the Scriptures: gird your loins and light your lamps and be like servants who await their master's return from a wedding. We can translate that today to roll up your sleeves, turn on the outside lights on the house, and be ready for when they come home. Maybe there's boxes in the car that need to be brought in or something like that. We're called to that vigilance. We're called to be ready for when the Lord comes. Now, this type of talk about vigilance and be ready for the coming, usually we hear this often during the end of the liturgical year, kind of around the middle of November or during Advent, because we're speaking then and preparing to celebrate the coming of the Lord and also preparing ourselves for the second coming. But we hear this today in a special way because it is a reminder to us that we need to keep on that vigil. We need to be about preparing ourselves. Now, I grew up as a Boy Scout, all the way from Tiger Cub to Eagle, from first grade till I was a senior in high school, and then I went on to go and do some help as a scoutmaster, an assistant scoutmaster for a little while. And I still am involved in scouting in some ways, especially faith-related nowadays. But that preparation, I remember thinking to myself on multiple occasions, but one in particular. I was hiking in Philmont, which is the scout ranch in New Mexico, in the Cimarron, near Cimarron, New Mexico, in, the Blood of Christ Mountains. It's in Spanish, and I can't remember what the Spanish is right now. But when you get there, we call it high adventure. In other situations when I was canoeing or on a week trip, but we were hiking 2 weeks. We're carrying everything we needed on our backs. And I remember thinking to myself, this is kind of like a graduation, if you will, after all those years of scouting. Everything that I had learned for so many years and prepared for, I was using in this situation. How to pack my backpack, how to read the map that I was using to guide 20-some people, how to tie the knots that I needed to put the food in the bear bag and get it up in a tree. All those different things. And I was well prepared and able to go through that journey, that trip, and come out on the other side in good condition, having had fun and enjoyed, because I had learned that. I know once I gave a homily and brought up this subject, and I said, I can tie a square knot behind my back without looking. And so too, a bowline or a clove hitch, all these knots that you learn in Boy Scouting. But it's because I practiced it and worked at it, knowing that it would be helpful. Now, brothers and sisters, that vigilance that we are called to make sure that we are preparing ourselves for the Lord, we have to be like those Boy Scouts, preparing ourselves and making sure that we know our faith and are living it well. We can take and make a parallel. This square knot maybe is the Our Father and the Hail Mary and the Glory Be. The learning how to camp and go on a trip is learning how to make sure that we're living out our faith in our homes. The citizenship in the community or the citizenship in the world merit badges are us learning how to live out that faith in the world. Brothers and sisters, this vigilance is not something of saying, oh, I'm looking for the Lord, He'll come. No, it's us being ready, actively looking for Him. In the church, they talk about, yes, the first coming of Jesus. That's everything that we celebrate. And the second coming is that promise that is given to us that at the end of the age, the Lord will come again in glory, and there will be the final judgment. And that will be the time when a new heaven and a new earth come about, and our bodies will be raised of those who are faithful. We will live needing only the light of Christ. But until that time, we have to keep vigilant and watch and look each day, seeing where the Lord is coming to us in our lives, where He is leading us to do His will in our lives and in the world around us. He's calling us to love one another as He would. We are all His servants. And we are called to go about His work and His business. Now, one last thing here. The end of that gospel that we heard. Much will be required of the person entrusted with much, and still more will be demanded of the person entrusted with more. That which we have been entrusted with is our faith in God. And we are called to carry that well and share it with others. And sometimes it's easy to say, well, Lord, why have you given me so much? I don't want this responsibility. I don't want to have to carry this. I want to do whatever I want. But the reality is that that's the wrong way to look at this. The Lord has given us much because He wants us to do much with it. And when we try to do things that are not of God, or seek those things which are not in His will, we're really just hurting ourselves. Because that greatest gift, which is life in eternity with God, is that promise which He has entrusted to us in our faith. And we need to make sure that with what we have been entrusted, we are truly building up ourselves to receive. So, my brothers and sisters, I encourage all of us to renew and restore that vigilance today, and to set a new watch in our lives for the Lord, coming each and every day to us, but also preparing ourselves for that which will come. May the Lord bless us and keep us vigilant.